Good morning, everyone. It's Cindy Lee, and today I'm going to show you a third type of foundation application, particularly for mature skin. Now, we've already talked about using a sponge, particularly Blenderful, where it has the flat surface, a nice fine point for getting into those smaller areas. Now remember, my tip for this is make sure it's damp. So put it under some water, squeeze all of the moisture out of the sponge, and then squeeze it again because you just want a little bit damp when you're going to apply your foundation. And that's how you're going to get the best application using that sponge. Second way that I've talked about, when you notice my little grand puppy Winston came to visit me, so I had to quick cut it short, was using our foundation brush. And it's a very flat, firm tip. When you use that, you kind of short strokes, feathering it onto your face. One tip I have for you is if you're pushing too hard or you have too much foundation on your brush at any given time, you may see brush strokes. So you need to be sure you kind of feather lightly so that you don't have any brush strokes if you're using this foundation brush. But it is really great for those larger pores that sometimes we get as we age. So being able to press in there and have this firm brush is great for that application. Okay, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about our buffer brush. Okay, so let's get started with that. Didn't realize I didn't have my light on, so let me get you a little bit more light here. Okay, so what I'm going to do today with the buffer brush, as I've done before, I'm going to put a little bit of foundation on the back of my hand. And you know I like to use, because my skin is very, very dry, just a little drop of Must Do into the back of my hand. And then I'm going to kind of massage that together. Because if you know, I like a very light coverage. And one of the great things about our foundation, it's like I got a little bit on my fingers, so I'm just going to kind of brush that to get that off of there. Okay, so one of the things I love about our foundation is if you like a light coverage or heavier coverage, you can get that with our foundation because it's so buildable. So as you see, I'm going to start under my eyes. Move my hair back a little bit so I'll get this side. I like to use a little bit of a swirl motion when I'm using this buffer brush. And you can see as I'm using it, you're going to see that redness that I have on my chin, some on my face, my nose. I kind of like to do this. It's because I have creases on the top of my lips. And with those creases, I like to be sure that they're coveraged in there. So when I do this, I know it looks a little bit funny, but it is great for ensuring that I get the foundation into the crease. And then when I'm finished with my setting powder, finishing powder, I'm going to have just a perfect, flawless finish. Now with this buffer brush, if you have too much foundation on it, or if you're applying it very heavy, then you may see, like, I don't know if you can see it, it's like a brush stroke. So again, using the swirling motion that I am, it really allows you to get the application on without any strokes. Now I've got to move in a little bit closer. So you can see the coverage. I use such a small amount of this foundation. And what I say to folks, if you can feel your foundation, you probably have too much on, because our Limelight foundation is weightless. And look at the coverage that you can see with that. Still have some on the back of my hand. It's like just feather it down in to my neck a little bit. But incredible coverage with that. Now, as you know, I set with our white setting powder. Just tap that off after I put some on there. And that's just going to set it in place, because if you saw as our foundation was warmed up, it was so easy to move around and apply it. That's why I love it. The other thing I love about it for mature women in particular, or anyone showing the signs of aging, that I don't know about you, but I have these little creases here, particularly on my furrow parts, and I already mentioned above my lips. And with a very lightweight foundation with exceptional coverage, I do not find foundation settling in there. So when people look at me, it kind of screams, look at these creases. I don't have that with our Limelight foundation. So that's one of the reasons I think this is truly the best foundation you can find if you are starting to see some of those signs of aging. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of blush to my cheeks. I'm going to be using number 1, which is our Alive, and I will put all the colors at the bottom of this video. I'll go back and add them, and I realized in my haste after Winston came to visit that I failed to do that on Friday, so I will be sure I go back and put in all the colors that I used then. I already had my eye makeup on because I just wanted to show you the finished look and how much crisper my face is with just a little bit of blush. I'm not even going to use browns or anything. I'm going to take our Nude Macaroon just to finish it off because I love, whoops, I've got a little bit too much on there. Very quick, very neutral color. It's great for everyday wear. It's great if you don't want a bright look when you're going out. It's going to last so long because our Enduring Lip colors have an incredible lifespan. They don't transfer, minimum transfer on anything. So if you are looking for a long wearing lip color, then you might want to try our Enduring Lip colors. Again, this one was Macaroon. That's my tip on our foundation application. Come back tomorrow where I'm going to talk about fingers and one more brush. Remember, if life gives you limes, be the light. Have an amazing day, everyone.